Welcome back to our Online Isolation 3 podcast covering episode 5. And per usual, we must begin with ups and downs for whoever wants to go first.
I mean, are we doing ups and downs based on gameplay or just human behavior in its totality? Because I can go either way with a bunch of folks this episode.
That's up to you.
Oh, man.
I still haven't made my decision yet. Y'all go ahead.
I'll start. Okay, so I'm gonna do it like this. In terms of gameplay, for me, obviously the down is for Miguel. In my opinion, he pulled the Rayleigh. He got heated, let the emotions get the best of him. Game fatigue, whatever. Like I mean, we all understand why he was upset and why he said what he said, but just the timing of it, it's just not the best. In terms of like human beingness, like tell a dude off if you feel like they're being an asshole. So like plus on that front. On the contrary, Anthony, gameplay wise gets a plus because like he was able to stay in the game, kiss some ass. I didn't think he was gonna put the underwear on his head. I'm glad. I'm glad that nobody made him keep it on. But gameplay wise, I mean, he had to do some major ass kissing. He did, and it worked.
Meg said a few episodes ago that Anthony would do whatever it takes to win. Man,
wow. Yeah, true.
Yeah. Bro, I'm not putting underwear on my head.
I believe that's true as well. He will do anything it takes to win. But as far as human being, you get the down because, like, dude, don't let Patty do that to you, man. Like,
I mean, he definitely felt like he was in that position, though. You realize how he looked immediately when he got into that call with Patty, and Patty started confronting him. He looked terrified. So
Patty also had a mask on, so
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother story. We'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I feel so bad for Miguel because it was like kind of right move, wrong time. Because like Patty said, he kind of had the power to do what he wanted. And not a great time to go off on someone. So that was expected. I don't know. Anthony lives to see another day. What can I say? I don't know. I think he's fun. So it's like he'll stay in the game as long as he wants, and I'm cool with that. I think he's interesting to keep around. But yeah, we can talk about the mask thing a little later.
Is Anthony gonna win this game? Is he gonna win?
Oh my god. I hope
not.
Aaron, is Anthony Europe as well?
I guess for how he played it, I think he got a little bit of the sympathy from the group when he first put the underwear on, and they were like, "Oh, don't do that. Like, that's so disgusting. Like, we're not going to make you do that, blah, blah, blah." I think he got a little bit of sympathy there. So yeah, he's still here. He made it. I think it helped that Miguel went off on Patty, and so Patty had another person to target in terms of who he was going to pick. Yeah. I don't know. It was an interesting episode for sure.
Anthony's great at the sympathy card. He's
pretty good at it. I'm gonna have to agree and give Anthony the up. Dude will do whatever it takes to win a game, and that includes just humiliating himself because somebody told him to. Personally, I'm not going to drop to that level. We're going to have a fight right there in the middle of the chat before I put any underwear on my head. It bothers me so much. I don't know why. Down two people that one person who's made this mistake in games before, which is Meg. When it gets down to it, she's just not going to control her emotions. I've been in the chats when it's happened. I've been a part of those chats, losing my emotions too. It's just, as a person, you're not going to let somebody else talk down to you. And she held her own against Patty. And Miguel did the same thing. I got to put him down also. He lost his cool at the wrong time. But props to both of them for standing up, against somebody who's trying to make you look like a fool. So I'm wavering on either side of it, down in the game, but props to them for, standing up for themselves.
Well, before we get back to all the drama, let's touch upon poor old Jed, who gets back in the game only to get thrown right back out.
Bro.
Any thoughts on Jed or his decision to choose possession over Ghost?
Bro, he was given an idol for playing Survivor. He was offered an idol and didn't take it. I mean, that's basically what that was. You have an extra life to use, and when you have to expect, if you're taken out of the game and you come back into the game, you have to assume that you're most likely going to be the easiest target to get back out. At least that's my thought process. Take the opportunity to have an extra life, and if you're not targeted, then good, you can save it. Or I don't think he could save it. I think it was just, how did that work? If he's targeted, he gets to use it, or does he get to keep it until the end of the game?
The ghost power? Then the next time he would be voted out, he wouldn't go out. So he's a one-time save throughout the rest of the game.
You have to take that. 100%, you have to take that.
Do you think he was thinking about more of the long game instead of the short?
I think he's been out of the game long enough to not be able to be confident about where people stand and to know where their rankings might be. I mean, you have to, in order to take the possession, you have to think you know where people are going to be voting. And I think he was out of the game for too long to be able to have that confidence. You're better taking the extra life and, assuming that you're going to be the next one out once you get right back in.
Yeah, when I watched the video or the episode and I saw the first option pop up, option A, I didn't even see option B, and I immediately was like, okay, option A, this is the best way to go. I see what he was thinking. He wanted to have more influence, but if it was me in that position, immediately would have done option A, because, like he ended up saying, once he got voted out again, he hadn't built those relationships with the people. So when it came down to it, they were probably going to continue to back the people that they had built relationships with, and he hadn't been there. So yeah, kind of inevitable that he probably would have put back down. I didn't think it was going to be right away. I felt terrible watching it go down. But yeah, I would have choose option A. I understand why he did option B, but it didn't work out in the end, and I feel terrible. I feel so bad for him.
Man, now Jed's in the Chris category, man. Step in and step right back out. Damn. Yeah, it sucks. When you're in that situation, it's going to be either one of two things. Either you come in and everyone's fighting so hard against each other that nobody really cares about you, and then you're fine. Or you come back in and everyone's built great relationships, and so nobody cares about you and they vote you out. So, it could have been either one. I do think that A was a better option, but, I think that he said it best with all the information he had. He thought he chose the best decision. I guess he didn't know Ian wasn't in the game anymore. He didn't know Anthony wasn't going to be in there. So, it just made the game so much more tight. And, he didn't know. A big part of this game is luck and chance. And, he lucked out on that one.
Yeah, I will say Jed has some bad luck, because if Ian had stayed in the game, it didn't make the edit a lot because Ian left the game early, so I didn't put too much of an Ian edit, obviously. But Ian and Jed actually had a good relationship. So if Ian would have stayed in the game, I think Jed would have survived this round.
Yeah. And I did like how he was trying to work Leanna. He was like, Leanna's like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to save you. And he's like, well, it only takes one person to save somebody. So if you choose to save me, I can save you. The young brother tried. Ah, man, damn. I thought he could have done it. I had big dreams for Jed. I really did.
He was kind of in the right spot. Like Dot, you said, if everybody's fighting, then you have a chance to survive. And watching the episode before, you would have thought, oh, everybody is fighting. He does have a chance. He didn't know that, but everybody ended up taking the safe route, I think, in this episode, and it ultimately bit him in the ass.
Do any of you think anybody made a mistake with their zombie choosing?
No, I think it came down to luck of the draw. Like if you're Leanna and you're Jed, you obviously make that deal because you're 2 out of 5. you're hoping that you were the lowest ranked, then you can save each other. But if Deanna or Deani, Miguel or Meg get it, then both of you are kind of screwed. It just depends on which of those two get picked first. So, I mean, if you're in that chat, you automatically agree, yes, I'll save you. And then you just hope for the best. I don't think they could have done it any other way.
I think the only decision that I questioned a bit was Meg's initially. I thought that she was going to choose Jed and cut Leanna because I feel like she's a bigger threat. And, the game's getting tight. She shows loyalty, which I feel like is always a good move. I'm not mad at it. But, I thought that she was going to make the move to cut a player who could possibly win this game. And, Jed wasn't really in that category at this time. But like she said, I did agree with her explanation. She didn't know if he had bad blood about the original elimination. So it's a little risky too. So I don't know. Besides that, I feel like everybody was pretty okay with their choices.
Yeah, I mean, I felt bad for Meg. She was put in that terrible spot where she had
to see her? She was,
yeah, she had to pick between two people. And so, like, if I was in that position, I would feel like shit having to pick between two people. And I understand her reasoning completely. She had already kind of been the reason Jed was down in the first place. So she had to make that assumption that there was some kind of bad blood there. She didn't want to create another situation where there'd be another, messed up relationship. So I understand her reasoning and I understand why it was so tough for her. And I think, the way everyone picked who they were going to, infect next, I think, it made sense. They were all close. They were all, like Dot said, they were all being loyal. So yeah, I don't know. I felt bad for her in that instance because it just seemed like such a terrible spot to be in.
Do Deani and Miguel have a pretty good connection, or did she really just pick him because he said she looks nice? Was that really the deciding factor?
I think the deciding factor was that conversation beforehand between Deani, Meg, and Miguel.
Right.
I don't think they have a bad relationship, but I wouldn't say they were close at this point either. So I don't know.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Were there any one-on-ones, or was it just those three?
It was just those three. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's get to Patty, what can I say about Patty? First, he spies on the right conversation and hears that Anthony is the one that's deceiving everybody and that Leanne and Meg's the one that voted him out of the game. And then he's the one who decides to sell his soul to become the vengeful spirit. Any thoughts on Patty?
First of all, I want to understand his thought process behind the mask. If he comes on here, I need to know.
I hope he comes on with the mask on.
I'm gonna get nightmares, man. That shit was scary.
I
think he was really trying to get into character as the vengeful spirit, I guess.
Did you look up was it Shinigami or whatever?
He talked about it in his confessional, but I don't remember exactly what it was.
I looked it up right before, and it's basically a god or a demon that invites humans toward death, trying to convince them to off themselves. I think in Japanese culture, it generally it gets them to commit suicide, which ironically he got Miguel to commit game suicide.
Wow. He does it again.
I had to look it up after the entire episode, and
research,
it kind of makes sense after the fact. But I don't know if Patty is playing a part or if he's he's the new greasy player in the game. Dot, he has taken over. He has taken your throne on the greasiest player in the game. I don't know what to say about him anymore. I love him as a character. I mean, I don't understand just completely throwing away your game. I mean, didn't you play this game in order to win?
I mean, I do think he doesn't play these games to win, because when he texted me to play again, he said he just wanted to be posturing Patty and fuck with people. So, I mean, I guess he accomplished that.
I mean, I'm just torn because he he comes across as just wanting to create chaos. And I like that about Patty. But on the other hand, he kind of comes across as, you know, he feels he's better than everybody else. Like, I think Miguel was kind of, you know, speaking facts, which is why I give Miguel props for calling him out on his shit. But I don't know how to feel about him anymore. I really don't.
But
I think it's the Miguel thing. It's two strong personalities going up against each other. We hadn't even seen that side of Miguel. I think he was suppressing that a lot. And all of a sudden it was like, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I know.
What I don't understand about Patty is like, yeah, he wants to stir the pot. He always says he doesn't care if he wins. He says, give me the monkey pod, send me to afterlife. I don't care. These young guns have so much potential. Let them go off and fly, and I'm just going to sit back and watch, right? But as soon as he gets eliminated, in both games he's played in, dude is pissed. Like a vendetta that lasts, in my own experience, over a year. Like it just keeps it doesn't stop, guys. It doesn't stop. He will continue. So like I just don't like, and I think I said this before. Like I've always thought that his way of saying like, oh, I don't really want to win. I'm not going to win. They're going to vote me. I think it's a strategy, right? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
It's Patty
Did Patty
2.0.
recruit you, Didi, or what?
Okay. She's been infected, y'all.
She's been infected.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. That's the only. I mean, mass aside, condescension aside, you know, ripping apart 18-year-olds aside. That's the part that I really don't understand is like, obviously you do want to win and you care about winning, because when you don't win, you get pretty upset, right? So like, there's no bullshit. Like you're trying to win the game.
I want to get some clarification from him if he comes on. Is this just entertainment for him, or is he really, you know, salty about all of this from both games?
Didi, you're in your mask. We're talking about Patty. What are your thoughts on Patty deciding to sell his soul to become the vengeful spirit?
I knew he was going to do it. I said he was going to do it. I already knew that's how Patrick is. He was going to do it. Because, like, I don't think he cares about winning games. Honestly, I don't.
He doesn't.
I thought he was going to get Anthony, but I was wrong.
Who are your ups and downs this week, Didi, since you missed the beginning? Is
Um,
Anthony your up?
yes, unfortunately, because he escaped yet again. Like, I don't understand. Oh my God, I don't get it.
He's
But
really good at it.
yeah, Alex, I cannot. And for down would be, oh, I don't know if I have it down. Oh, Jed. It's not his fault, but I mean, he literally went down, so I guess that'd be my choice too.
Well, we'll continue talking about Patty with his returning to the game. Well, do you have any other thoughts on this conversation with Anthony when he first came back in the mask?
I think it was hilarious. I was on the ground. I was on the ground laughing. It was funny. I was like, let me go find my mask real quick.
So update from Dot's family. I was watching the episode with my wife, and she's always been a Patty fan, and she feels like he took it too far. Like she's like, I don't really know if I can be a fan of Patty after watching him put that mask on. Like she's like, come on, bro. Like what is that? And then number two, just like the way that he ripped apart Anthony and just like watching Anthony just sit there and take it. I was like, dude, this dude's a freshman in college, man. Like, let your boy live. He's a kid, man. Like, it's a game, and I felt like it got like a little, you know, it almost got there to where it was.
I mean, bro, you got him to put underwear on his head. Like, who does that? Didi, are you going to put underwear on your head to win a game?
No. I would have told Patrick, you got me fucked up, bro. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done it in that scenario. I'm confused though, because I thought he straight up, like, I kind of like that he manned up and was like, hey, Pat, I will confess my sins, but I'm not gonna wear the underwear, man.
I didn't know he was going to do it.
He said he wasn't gonna do it. I'm just, like, I guess he had to change her heart. I was like, I'll do anything to win.
I think Anthony plays the game, is what he does. Like to Anthony, it is still a game. I think Anthony was doing it as like a pity thing. Look what Patty made me do.
And it worked. Yeah. It worked.
I call that bullshit. Like I was saying, like he's a kid. He's a freshman in school. Oh my god, it doesn't matter. He lied on everybody, so I didn't care.
You know what? He's way better at playing the victim than he is at playing like the fast talker, like team runner. Yeah. He's so good at being the victim. It's crazy.
I was like, why are they telling him don't do it? No, do it. I want you to do it. Put it on.
He was gonna do it.
Like, do it. I thought he was gonna put it over his face. I was like, put it on your face. Do it. Since you want to talk shit about people.
We're like yelling at the TV. Anthony, no.
Anthony, yes.
No, your respect, your self-respect, man.
Put it on.
I mean, you can say what you want about Anthony, but you all put him up for this episode, despite him putting underwear on his head. So
I only put him up because he survived. So I should put Patrick down now that I think about it, because Patrick fell for it.
This dude's trying to win this game for real. He's really trying to win this game, man. He could win this game.
Oh my God. Ugh.
He could do it. That's what I said.
We touched upon it a bit at the beginning with Dazed, I think. When Patty came back to everybody else in his mask and gets in an argument with Meg, any thoughts on that whole conversation? He also was mad at Deani and Leanna.
I don't understand why he was mad at Deani and Miss Leon. I don't understand that, because it's not their place to defend him.
He was drowning, and they were supposed to do the right thing and save him from the riptide.
Well, I'm not that good of a swimmer, so bye. I just learned how to swim, so you were going to be there by yourself.
Oh boy!
I don't think it was their place to say anything.
It's interesting because, like, I mean, Patty's the pot stirrer, right? And Meg has been doing an excellent job, from like Jamil making fun of her to like Patty coming at her at the beginning. She's kept her cool. She's played nice. She hasn't really made any waves or any drama. And she just had it, man. Like, she was like, all right, dude, first of all, your mask is fucking stupid. All right, grow up. Like, she just had enough. And you know, you could see it on her face, man. Like her and Miguel both. I mean, I think I always talk about game fatigue because it's real, and especially playing with Patty, it's just double. It's double time, man. It's double time. So like, I think like both of them just had enough. Like you can only take so much in a game before like the real you comes out, and it did.
I agree. Yeah, she should know better by now. But again, it just gets to the point where you can't hold it in any longer. And we've seen some explosive arguments in these games. This is another one added to that list. Very entertaining. But Meg, come on, you know better than to do that.
Well, at the same time, though, Patty took it to like a whole new level, I think. I don't think anyone was expecting what happened. And it was almost just like, how do you prepare for that? How do you prepare for someone to come on with a full mask and come after everyone? And it's just like, honestly, yeah, I don't know what I would have done in that situation. I would have just been shocked. I probably would have laughed and then, shut up once I realized how serious Patty was, and just been like, what is going on? I don't even know how to comment on the situation. Just gonna leave it at that.
I mean, somebody had to shut him down, right? Like, we don't know where he would have went in this like monologue if somebody would have been like, all right, dude, like, cut the shit, man. Like, cut it. Somebody had to do it.
Yeah, well, it was Miguel, unfortunately.
Oh my Miguel.
But yeah.
Well, let's get
Miguel, shut up.
Let's go person by person with Patty's vengeful spirit visit. First, it was Anthony again, in which, how do you think Anthony played that? Because Anthony called him out. He knew that Patty was going to, make him put underwear on his head and then vote him out.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, I wrote down, he's fucking with him. He's still going to vote you out. Don't fall for this shit. And he called it out. I mean, he still put the underwear on his head, so I'm not exactly sure where his head was at, but.
In the underwear.
Dee killing him today,
I mean, he obviously wants to win, and as somebody who wants to win the game, he took that conversation really well. Somebody like myself, Dot, obviously Meg, Miguel, Dee would not have listened to that shit. We would have told you to F off and probably turn the camera off. So game-wise, he did really good in navigating that conversation.
Next, I believe, was Meg, a conversation between Meg and Patty. Any thoughts on that conversation?
Man,
She was too high for that shit.
Meg's face, like, I just feel like she was just so done, man. She just like, she just like did not want to be there. And she's like, look, I'll listen to you talk. And you can say what you want to say, but like, dude, I don't know. I like how he said that, like, she was surprised how he was acting, and she was like, dude, no, I'm not surprised at all. Like, this is exactly what you do, like, to be real. Man, tough combo. Tough combo. I want to say, like, people keep bringing it up, but, like, I mean, they're right. Like, Patty did say he wanted to go to the afterlife. And everyone who had a part in it, like, I don't feel like they have very much blood on their hands. I'm still pretty confused on why he took it so sorely.
I think it's just because he said he wasn't there. And like he said before, he'd rather have someone stab him or like shoot him in the face and stab him in the back or something like that. I don't get the whole thing because he wasn't supposed. Was it because he like missed a day or something and he wasn't like in on what was happening? I didn't really understand that portion because it was like, what were they supposed to do in that situation? They were just listening to what he had said constantly. So that kind of confused me. I didn't quite understand why he was so bent on that per se.
I feel that's an excuse though. Like the majority of all of us pretty much say, you know, stab me in the front, not in the back. And really all we're saying is we don't like being blindsided. That's all that is. And he got blindsided. And he's salty about it.
Patty will be coming soon. So quickly, any thoughts on Leanna?
Oh, he's not here yet, is he? Okay, good.
Is
he watching right now?
Watching him from the back.
Any conversation on the Leanna?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's too much similarity between the kids drowning story and Leanna not backing it up in a conversation. Very touching story, but I don't think the connection is strong enough. The only other thing I wrote by the conversation is, dude, I just think Patty got to stop drinking during these games, man. I think he just got to stop. God. I think he drinking too much, man. Like, it's becoming too much.
I mean, when you got Meg and Deani smoking, you know, the strongest shit they can find just to have a conversation with them, you're probably a little bit too much.
I was so impressed with Deani. I was like agreeing with Patty. I was like, yeah, I want that. I want whatever that is. That seems like amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, girl, you gonna say something?
Yo, that was the way she showed how to handle that conversation. Like, you have to show indifference. You know, you can't get too hot about it. And another message for Patty. I tell him when he gets here. But hey, man, when you miss a day, I already gave you the roadmap to what to do to get back in the game. Okay.
Well, that hadn't aired yet, so you didn't know.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, do some research. It can be done.
Lastly, any last thoughts on the conversation between Miguel and Patty? That did not go good.
Whew, Rayleigh.
Props
now
to Miguel.
That's the person who is like me. Deani is not like me. Miguel is like me because I'm going to cuss your ass out. He should have stopped talking, but I completely understand his viewpoint because I would have kept talking to him. Like, fuck you, fuck the people that almost drowned, fuck the dude that you told if he was paying attention, he would have saved this kid. Like, But I'm sorry that he's gone because I thought he was going to win. But
he will have a shot to get
Not
back.
over.
And
It's
he
not
will
over.
also be coming. So
okay.
Dope.
Well, any
Dope.
quick final thoughts before Patty comes? And I think Miguel should come too.
Before Patty gets here, I want to know if Dee Dee's opinion of him is still solid. Like, you still love Patty, right?
Yes, I told you I wanted Anthony to put the drawers on his face, like over his head. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. I don't like that he
Jesus.
that he brought Miguel with him, but yeah. Me and Patrick, yeah.
I didn't know Miguel had that fire in him.
I didn't either.
I had no idea. Thought I was watching me. Thought I was watching me for a second. Sheesh.
Not that.
You got serious.
You're worse.
Thought I was watching DeLeon in this bitch. Golly.
Okay, that's
That dude.
Yeah.
Sheesh. I like it.
Well, any final thoughts on the overall episode?
Whew. This is as great as I thought it was gonna be. Fantastic episode. Laughed, I cried. Everything.
You cried?
Shook your head.
Yeah, the driving story, man. I got emotional. Yeah, bro.
Well, I'm gonna bring in Patty and Miguel.
Oh Lord, here we go.
At the same time.
Wait, are they gonna argue?
At the same time.
Oh my God.
Gosh.
Hello, Patty. Hello, Miguel.
Fight.
Shut up, guys. Shut up.
Let me see if I can hear them both.
Why are they
Both upside
sideways?
down. I don't know why they're sideways.
Yeah, something's all fucked up.
Hold on, let me try to readjust my camera. What
there
did I
it is.
walk into?
Oh.
Because I heard fight, and I'm just like, fuck,
Dot
I'm in
being
trouble.
dot.
We were just talking about the Miguel and Patty conversation.
Hey, D, can I throw an apology your way?
Apology?
Yeah, I had to mute you on Instagram because all those booty shaking videos you've been pumping out lately have fucking got me in trouble with my wife. It's like a train wreck. I cannot refuse, and if she catches me one more time, I'm a goner motherfucker. So that's my apology. So goddamn you for gonna get me killed in my sleep.
Shit.
Oh Lord, never know.
I apologize.
No, don't. They're exciting and they're make me second guess my marriage vows. So we're all good there.
Wow.
Boom. Just kidding. I know she's happily married.
Shoot your shot, Patty.
Yeah.
Miguel, I don't know what happened to Miguel. Hopefully he'll come back. But Patty, let's talk about it. So when you messaged me to come on this game, you said you wanted to come and be pot stirring Patty and fuck with people.
Okay.
You think you accomplished that?
I just have a quick question really quick if the rest of the round table is down for it, because I definitely don't want to turn this into the Patty hour. I just want to I want to like kind of establish some rules of conduct ahead of time, because I got the parameters for you in the email. I just want to make it all like kosher with everybody and we're all cool. There's no bullshit going on. Are we all down for this really quick, or you going to think I'm going to talk too much and just tell me to fuck off? I'm good with either way. I don't want to turn this into the Patty hour, but I would like to kind of give you guys an explanation so you can kind of understand what was going on in my head at the time with the character I was assigned, or you guys can say no or yes. I'm good with either way.
I think everybody kind of wanted to see where that was.
Okay. I guess let's ask you guys, everybody on the panel. There's 3 different modes of Patrick that you can get today. It's all on you. It's Patty on demand. So if we can all come to agreement, I'll proceed forward. Do you guys want hero Patty, cunt Patty, or mixed cocktail? We all got to agree on this, and I'll give you whatever you guys want.
Mixed cocktail.
I would say mixed cocktail.
I want to know what Miguel wants. What does Miguel want?
I love cocktails. We do a mixed cocktail. Let's do that.
So can we do mixed cocktails? Miguel, nice to see you. Hey, Miguel.
Nice to see you,
I want to tell you right now, you are beautiful.
You are beautiful, Patty.
And I mean that,
bro.
You know what my nickname for you is when we're watching the show with my wife? Seriously. I call you the pretty K-pop motherfucker, and I sincerely mean that because, dude,
aren't you Hispanic?
Dude, that is a compliment. I will take that.
No, seriously, you're like a hottie and a pretty boy, and nobody told you you're beautiful. And after I realized, after watching the videos, I just wanted to do that right away. So we're good. Are we good?
Yeah, we are good. Honestly, we are good. I hold no
Okay, so-
grudges whatsoever.
And Dot, I know we take shots of each other at each other on Instagram and shit, and it's all out of love. It's no salty patty. I'm actually on a low sodium diet because my bad choices. So I'm low sodium. It's all out of love. But when I move forward today, can we have a safe word? Can we just say the safe word sugar daddy in case something gets racy or spicy, as you would say it? We just say sugar daddy, and we'll pay tribute to Anthony if y'all okay with that. just fucking yell sugar daddy. You guys good with that?
Yes, I'm good with that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So when I explain the whole progression of this today, I'm actually referring to the characters rather than them personally, because most of you guys I don't know anything about, and I knew that I would not have any contact with you guys after the show. So when I'm talking about you, it's actually referring to your character in the show rather than you personally. You guys good with that? Because I don't want anybody to take this as a personal attack. This is why I took the route I did in that last episode. We all G with that? Okay, so Nick, the producer, was actually privy to a lot of the personal shit that was going on in my life at the time the filming had started. He knew that I had a couple people die. He knew I had a couple big projects. He knew all the personal shit I was going through. So what happened was, initially in the show, when I said I'm good if I'm eliminated immediately, because I didn't know if I was going to be called back to the mainland to attend a funeral, what have you. And when I said that, that was out of sincerity. I wasn't going to tell you guys my personal shit because you didn't need to know that. You don't deserve that or anything else. And I didn't want the sympathy card to be played during the game if I chose to stay. You guys understand? Nick knew I had people die, and I had 3 people die in that short period of time right before filming. And I had a contract coming up, and I didn't know whether or not I was able to finish the game. And that's why I said what I said. It wasn't like me playing this, like the reverse psychology card. That was actually legit, you know. And I know it was like a point of contention in the initial discussions of the show. That was actually a legit thing for my life. And Nick, the producer, actually knows that was going on. And I guess after my schedule cleared and things kind of fell through, and the arrangements and stuff were like kind of postponed due to COVID and stuff, my schedule actually was able to free up. And the role I was assigned during this game, I decided to embrace it and just fucking run with it. And I can't give you guys too many clues because I'll give you full disclosure to the point that it won't provide any like spoilers for future episodes or like help unravel the plot for the future. But I decided to choose this role and embrace it because actually I was using you guys as a distraction, the other cast members. And Miguel, I know you took it wrong because I'm an ugly motherfucker. We could ask the same questions. It would roll off better when you deliver it. My delivery sucks. And we could ask the same questions to the same crowd and get different results. You guys understand what I'm saying? Miguel has the beauty, I have the ugly, and my delivery's all messed up, right? So I decided to use this show, this opportunity, more or less as like a therapy session. And when I was asking you guys like stuff about you personally, I was actually trying to introduce that happy experience that you guys may have had from complete strangers to actually make my life better at that low point that I was experiencing at the time. So I'm sorry if you got Miguel, if you took it as interrogation. I do have a stone face, very serious. And I just want to explain some of that backstory that may have been misunderstood during the storyline or cut out during creative or during the editing process. Is everybody on the same page and kind of got the backstory of what was going on in my life at that time?
I want to know where you got that mask from, bro. That's my biggest question. I want to know where I can get one.
I can send you the link out if you hit me up on Instagram. You want to know why I wore that mask? Because you guys thought it was all me being weird and shit. I actually caught wind from Wisconsin that a couple of people died that were important to me, crying like a bitch all day long. I didn't want to show you my ugly cry face or my swollen eyes or my bruised face or whatever was going on with my crying process. I didn't want to give that away or break character. So I had this mask that I ordered on Amazon because we still have mask mandates and I like to scare little kids at the grocery store. I decided to put this fucking mask on so you guys can see that I've been crying all day with my swollen eyes and shit. That's why I chose to wear a mask when I was assigned that vengeful spirit role.
I'm sorry about that, man.
No, it's okay. You don't need to apologize. These people are dead. They're not at the show right now. They're not doing anything for me. But that's the reason why I wore the mask, so I couldn't break character when I went into vengeful spirit mode. That's the only reason why. It's pretty simple, but you guys didn't need to know the backstory of what's going on in my life, and I made this like commitment to Nick. I had to follow through or be a pussy about it. So I decided to fulfill my obligations, and that's why I wore it.
Well, I want to go to Miguel for a second. Coming into this game right after the last game, basically, and playing with Anthony again, what was your mindset coming into this game and seeing Anthony again on the first day?
Bro, when I saw Anthony, I was like, why? Why Anthony, bro? Because Anthony, he was kind of the reason why I got booted the last game. And then I just kind of knew how he started playing. And then coming in this game, I was, you know what? And knowing I should know better, but I was going to give Anthony a chance anyways. And then coming in, he was still with the lies. And everybody kind of, at the point where we're at now in the game, everybody kind of knew he was a liar. So at that point, I knew, like, all right, I feel like I'm in a good spot now that everybody knows how Anthony plays. But at the very beginning, I was willing to work with I was really willing to work with Anthony again, even though I should know better. But I was down for it.
Hey Miguel, can I clarify something? Because I know things kind of got kind of spicy with us during the season, and Anthony was the one who initially planted that bug in my ear that you were coming after me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you caught this in those episodes. Did you catch that when I said I'm going to need more information to go after Miguel? Did you happen to catch that?
I did.
Anyone
not.
else did? Because when Anthony was
it was a conversation with Meg.
I know Anthony said something too, but I also said that I'm going to need more information if I'm going to gun for Miguel. And I know Nick, you know what I'm talking about. I don't remember the context of who I was having the conversation with.
It was Meg.
But I actually said that, and Anthony was not the only one to play along with that. They were taking certain pieces of my conversations with them out of context and actually letting Miguel know that without telling him the whole story. And with me being brutally honest as that character flaw, I think that gave them the opportunity to kind of paint a different picture to forward their game strategies. And I truly feel that. And I hope, Miguel, you'll go back and watch that and realize that Anthony and those guys, there was more than one person in on that deal that caused us to have that conflict later on. And I hope you could see it now that some of the shit that rolled down wasn't just on me. It was other people keep going, because if one person says something, that's an anomaly, that's a fluke. But if multiple people are playing into that, that's a pattern. And that's what I picked up on. And that's why things kind of went the way they did. And I hadn't created a bond with you for whatever reason. So that's why it was a little bit easier for me to treat you less than human and go after you the way I did. So I hope you understand that we've had time to cool off. I am a prick, but I'm not that bad, dude. Seriously. It's just the role I was assigned.
Miguel, did you feel like people were telling you that Patty was coming after you?
Not that he was coming after me, but like Patty said, we never had a conversation. Like, we never talked game. We barely talked when we were in the chats. We never had like that conversation. So at the end of the day, like whenever we went into that chat where we got into the argument, I was already in the mindset that like he didn't owe me anything. And I told him that, like, I don't think you owe me anything. I don't owe you anything. We never had a conversation. But I was still willing to have a conversation. That's why I started off the conversation like I did. And then just kind of seeing how Patty was taking it at that time was like, oh, he's really standoffish. And I don't think he's going to want to hear what I have to hear. And that's what I think it started escalating. Like, I just started seeing like, all right, I don't think this conversation is going to go the way I anticipated it to go. So I was like, yeah, hey, that's what just slowly started going out of control.
If somebody isn't contacting you, do you take that as them targeting you? Like, do you suspect that they are coming after you? Because I know Meg kind of had the same idea about Patty when they hadn't talked for a while. She was like, he must be coming after me. Did you get the same kind of feeling about Patty?
In a sense, I had a feeling because I don't get me wrong, I'm not like the loudest loud person, but I'm kind of outgoing, and then I kind of sit out there a little bit, and that's kind of what happened last season too. Like, I was a little out there, and I was like really talkative and stuff like that. So I feel like in a sense I was gonna paint a picture, and I paint a target on my back. So I was like, well, Patty's probably gonna come after me. Like, we didn't talk, and then I'm one of those people that kind of stand out a little bit, and then it'll be easy to just take me out. So yeah, in a sense, yeah, I feel like I was a target for him.
Question for you, Miguel. What up, Miguel? First of all,
good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. It's been a minute. So at the beginning of this game, it seemed like you didn't really know how honest you wanted to be, right? You wanted to keep back the fact that you were in season 3 of Survivor, and you just kind of like laid back a little bit. And then, we saw you become a lot more honest whenever you talked with Jed. And then just like in all your conversations moving forward, I felt like we saw more of you just being open with people. Was that a strategy that you made to try and be more honest? Or did you just like naturally in the game, like, was it just like you being you?
I'm gonna be honest right now. At the very beginning, I had not a clue what I was doing. I had not a clue. I was in there. I didn't even know how the rankings were literally like were about. I was just ranking people just to rank up. I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So like going forward, I was like, you know what? At least I'm gonna be myself and I just talk to people and joke around like I do and have a conversation like I'm gonna have a conversation in real life. You know what I mean? So I was trying to be as genuine as possible while still trying to play the game. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't say it was my strategy.
All right, got you. Follow-up question.
Yes.
When you stood up to Patty,
mm-hmm.
And it did, ultimately cause you to be eliminated. How did you feel? Because I think all of us were kind of like twisted, like, yeah, big ups to you for standing up for yourself and not being pushed around, but also.
They also all thought you were going to win, Miguel, on this podcast.
Dude, I thought
you still have a shot so far.
At the point, bro, I was like, I didn't know what I was doing, but I feel like I'm in a good spot, especially where I didn't know where Deani stood, and then I had started having a good relationship with Meg, and I was like, you know what, I feel like I'm slowly starting to get in a good spot.
Yeah.
So then, when I found out Patty was gonna drag somebody, I was like, damn. In my mind, I already set myself up for failure in a sense, because I was like, he's gonna drag me. I don't talk to him. I feel like I heard he was already gunning for me. Like, there's no other reason for me to really have hope. But I was, you know what? I'm gonna go in that and have that conversation anyway. But and then when it went down the way it did, and then I kind of found out, and Patty even said himself, he's like, you weren't even my target. Like, I wasn't even thinking about you. And I was like, damn, that's why I said I let my emotions get the best of me, which sucked. But at the same time, I just feel like I needed to stand up for myself, and I wasn't gonna be not myself and stand up for someone that's not needed. And at the time, I felt like I was being attacked as a person, and I was like, nah, this is a game. But to me, sometimes it went past the game a little bit, and I was like, nah, we're not doing that.
Oh, I've been there. I know what you mean. I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I got you.
Patty, we have to touch upon this, even though I feel like you two get sick of each other. But coming into this game and seeing Meg and playing with Meg again, what are your thoughts on Meg?
Can I give you a couple observations I made initially with this? There's two things that I noticed almost immediately with talking to her. Her character in the game almost made me feel like so dirty, so depraved that I needed to go take a shower after I talked to her, because there's certain qualities about her. Because when I decided to stay on the game, I actually did my homework and started queuing through all past seasons to watch how the things progressed and what they did when they got stressed. And I knew Meg was willing to fuck her teammate over in the season we were together when I decided to take her out. So I figured, even though she said there was no bad blood there, I knew eventually it would resurface, and that would be my job to show everybody how Meg is like that when she goes all Aries eyes on people. So I was actually saving that for the opportune time, but I knew immediately that I would not be able to trust her, because she has Meg's character in the game is very intriguing to me, because she can talk out of all sides of her mouth, and she has the ability to remember a lot of the things she tells people, like her, I'm going to say lies. This isn't an attack, but this is what I was thinking at the time. And she's really slick. And she also has that ability to leave out key information that will not allow the fellow castmates to make informed decisions as the game progressed. And that was my sticking point with Meg. I just had to figure out how I would address her in future interactions. So that was my strategy with her. And another thing I noticed about Meg too is when her and Miguel first met, you could almost hear an audible squirt because she was caught off by Miguel's beauty. I either knew she's going to have to go home and change her panties, or her fingers were going to get way later on the game.
Oh my God.
And that was noticeable to me. I don't know if anybody caught that, but she almost gave Miguel that fuckboy eyes when she first saw him. I don't know if anybody noticed that, but that's what I'm saying.
Sugar daddy.
Patty.
That's what I observed.
Sugar
right
daddy.
Sugar daddy.
Are you saying that Miguel was her Jake? Because
I said
that. Yes.
She was ready to eat cake, and I knew inevitably that they would pair together and form some kind of alliance. Despite all my trash that I just spoke, that's what I saw initially with how they first interacted, because I was also there during that interaction, and it was not like it was edited out of the show. There was, I believe, 4 of us in on that conversation, and I saw that, and I knew goddamn well that there was going to be some kind of alliance later on in the season. You'd have to be stupid if you wouldn't think that.
And the funny part is, when I saw Meg's season, I was not even a fan of Meg. I was like, man, Meg, she rubs me the wrong way. And then when I started when I got in the game with her, I was like, damn, I'm a fan of Meg, and I really, really, really want to work with her. And I'm glad it started going the way it did, and we clicked the way it did. Because if we didn't, I feel like we would have been at each other's throats if we didn't click.
And Meg is really good at being Meg. She's an expert at being herself, and props to her. She's a good game player, and I just didn't deal with it sometimes appropriately, and that's me. That's my character flaws. You know what I mean?
Patty, when y'all first saw each other, you confronted her pretty hard in front of everyone. And, you could tell that she didn't really want to engage. But, as the show progressed, you guys were having some pretty comfortable conversations. And I remember one of your confessionals, you said, well, I don't trust her, but I want to, but I don't, but I want to. Yeah. Did you feel like just getting to know her a little bit more that there was the possibility of y'all working together more closely?
Well, with how the circumstances progressed during the previous season, and she made that deal with the Devils, said she'd X one of her teammates out if she can form an alliance with me. That still didn't sit well with me, because past behavior kind of goes into future gameplay. That's how I felt at the time. This is not anything on Meg. This was my strategy, and I wanted to let that go on a clean slate. And I gave her the opportunity to do so, but you saw some of her confessionals. It was just like, there was still some stuff there that, may have carried over from last season. And we both know how we operated. We even had that dialogue between each other. And I said, how we operated last season. You know how it ended. You know what I'm capable of. And, it was just like this whole coming to Jesus moment with her, just trying to keep it real. Cause you know how I am. I don't necessarily say what you want to hear. I tell you what I think you need to hear rather than that, and sometimes it sucks for me because I'm an asshole. Just like Miguel said, I'm good with that. I love it. I hug it. I don't run from it. That's me in the game. That's what I'm saying. That was my strategy.
Miguel, once you got dragged to the afterlife, what was your thought process? Without any spoilers, of course.
Yeah. I guess just the one word, I was devastated, because I was like I said, I feel like I was doing so good in the game at the point where we were at. From not knowing what I was doing to having actually people on my side, I felt on my side. I was like, dang, I feel like at the minimum I could have went another good round or two without I feel like anybody coming after me, honestly. And so that whenever I got dragged, and the way I got dragged and me kind of exploding and kind of behaving in a way I don't normally behave, I was like, dang, it was the opposite of the way I wanted to go out, at least, I wanted to get a master plan or something, not because I got in an argument. So it sucked overall, but it happened, and you just gotta learn from it,
Feels good and bad at the same time.
Because you can,
yeah, because
that's true. DD's never been voted out ever. So.
Oh damn. Well.
It must be nice.
I shouldn't have said that.
I gotta play it next time I play.
My spot's already blown up. I can't even play in future games. I don't even know how I'd be able to pull that off, because I didn't just burn the bridges. I nuked the whole fucking town. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you blew that shit up.
And hey, Miguel, to be honest with you, I actually have I have a friend, mi hermano, his name is Victor. And I actually called him that night and I said, how can I attack you? Because the whole, Mexican heritage and stuff. And he gave me some advice on how to peel you apart and get you to just push your buttons, all those buttons with instantly, right? You know how we all, and he said, you got to go in this like a dog fight. You got to stare him in the eyes, right? Kind of challenge his manhood, his identity. And he said,
I was mad.
It did piss you off. It did piss you off, Miguel.
I was mad, bro.
It did piss you off.
And I'm gonna give you a tidbit. I'm gonna give you a tidbit. The reason why I gave him those death eyes, because my wife was watching it the other night. She's like, I've never seen you fucking look at anybody like this. And my friend Victor said, you got to go in this like a dogfight approach. Get this chihuahua to bark, then eat his ass alive. And Miguel, and Miguel, I don't flex that hard unless I have any extra cards up my sleeve. And I was kind of hoping that you guys would catch on to that because, you know, I try to always hold my word because my word is my bond. And when I came out flexing so hard, you guys had to know that I had other shit going on and I knew what I had in my back pocket for the rest of the game. And I was hoping you would catch on to that. That was all the facade. That was just me being a prick. That's just me doing what I had to do to fill that vengeful spirit role.
Yeah.
Dave did some interesting research. Dave, what was the word in the definition?
I was, Patty, I was actually hoping for a confessional on this, but I looked up the word that you had as your name, Shinigami. Is that what it was?
Yeah, that was the god of death, Japan. They are like the gods of wrath. These are the ones who actually take people to the afterlife. And when I was crying like a baby, I couldn't pull off that name without putting that mask on. So it's a Japanese culture thing. It's basically a demon. That's it. It's very simple. I'm in an anime. I'm a little weird like that, but that was the inspiration behind that name that day.
I thought there was some irony behind it because what it said to me was it was a god or demon that invites humans towards death, right? And that's kind of what you did to Miguel in this episode.
Hell yeah. Hey, can I give you a little backstory on why I did what I did when I blew up on all you guys and all went gangster? Can I give you a backstory to that? What I did was the approach I took. I was hoping to push all your buttons to expose yourself so everybody else could see it to reset the game, because I knew if Miguel and Meg were to run the rest of the game, one of them was going to win. So that's kind of what I did to Anthony, and he kind of pissed me off when I heard that sugar daddy comment. And if you want to ask me about that in a couple minutes, it's good. And the approach I took with him, but I felt the approach I took would give everybody the opportunity to reset the game so the rest of the cast members can make informed decisions from that point on. That's why I went so hard on everybody, so it would give everybody a fair chance so they know the truth, and hence the confession of the sins thing. That's why I did what I did. I took this whole chess, Bobby Fischer. I don't know if you guys know who Bobby Fischer is. He was this famous chess player in the 80s. I tried to get ahead of your movements 6 to 7 ahead. I wasn't acting in the moment. I was actually trying to set the stage for the rest of the game and just create something dynamic that was more raw and real. You guys understand what I was doing? I was moves ahead rather than acting in the moment.
What was with the underwear? Why the underwear on Anthony's head? What was the purpose of that?
Well, if you guys can remember on the first night we had that interaction when he was all going fucking chatterbox on everybody, he actually made me nauseous, and I was like, God damn him. You know, he talks too much, right? And I told him not to get his panties up on the first date and tell everybody your strategy. Hence the underwear on his motherfucking head. He had to eat his own panties that day. And that's why I chose that strategy.
Like the scarlet letter, it's like just shame.
That makes so much sense.
Public shame.
That was more symbolic, and that was a life lesson to Anthony, because I knew I could sniff his shit from day one. And Anthony has couple different characters. You notice when he's in his own comfort zone, he's a super flamboyant animated character who talks a lot and it makes jokes and all this shit. But when you catch him up on his shit, he turns into like almost like he kind of stutters, backsteps, has this like convenient situational amnesia. And all those character traits, when you catch Anthony up in his shit, he's a horrible liar. And that's how I knew I was going to get his ass eventually. But when I was gunning for Miguel, the easy choice was, and even Anthony said this, you can either go after me or you can go after somebody bigger. Anthony was already that fruit that fell off the apple tree next to the dog shit that I almost stepped in. I was actually going to go for a piece of fruit more beautiful, higher up on the tree, and that's why I went with Miguel. It was nothing personal. It was just strategic.
I wish it wasn't my ass though. Damn.
You know,
I was trying to win.
I will say Anthony does this. Like he did something similar to me whenever it was me, him, and Rochelle, and he was like, you should, no one's gonna vote for me. You pretty much you have bigger fish to fry than me. Like Anthony's pretty good at that.
I'm actually amazed that he was willing to put his underwear on his head and degrade himself for that. And hey, here's the beauty of this thing, guys. You may have thought I rolled off as an asshole last episode. I was the only motherfucker in online isolation who was able to shut that guy up and make him eat his own shit.
That's true. That is true. That is true. Something that I respect about you is that when he like when he figured out that you were pretty much going to make him wear the underwear and then you were going to eliminate him anyways. I like that you actually told him, you know what? Yes, I was going to do that, because you could have said, nah, man, no, I'm not. I would never do that to you. Like, just wear the underwear and you're good. And then you could have very well have eliminated him. So like, I just like that you kind of just like gave him the truth. I was like, yeah, you're a smart kid. I was going to do that.
The reason I did this is because, you know, with the whole generational gap between me and some of the younger castmates, I had to learn some of like that slang and shit that you guys are throwing around now. I didn't even know what the fuck sus was like till 2 weeks ago, you know? I had to do my homework and shit.
Sus has been around since the 90s. Anthony just brought up.
Dude, I was an English major and all that shit. I never like cut words like that. But my problem was I had to learn all this slang, all the generational gap shit, right? And I was actually, when I approached these people, this was more like an existential approach rather than eating them up in the game. Because the younger generation, when I was growing up, you talk shit, you better be willing to back it up or you're going to knuckle up in the streets. We took care of it right away. You can't talk shit to somebody. You can talk shit now 5,000 miles from someone because you know you ain't going to get your ass beat unless they're in the room. You know what I mean? There's no consequences to talking shit now. I'm old school. We handled it. We handled it immediately, right? And I wanted to kind of give Anthony a taste of his own medicine, and I was willing to put his feet up on my shoulder and give him that fucking sugar daddy penetration that he was looking for, right?
Oh,
and I had to shut him up, man.
Miguel, would you, if Anthony said
man,
Patty was his sugar daddy, would you believe him? Because
he said, say one more time.
Anthony was saying that you guys would believe anything about Patty. Was that true? If he said Patty was his sugar daddy, would you believe him?
Nah, honestly, nah. I mean, just to an extent, you can't always fucking believe everything. But Anthony's a character, though. But at the same time, go ahead.
Can I ask you guys a question, sincere? When you guys were all thinking certain things about me in the game and stuff because you weren't privy to certain information and conversations, right? How did you feel actually when you found out Anthony said he lied about me to further himself in the game, you know? And how did you feel when like Jamil and a couple other characters like Jed had these existential moments and realized that they were actually swindled and deceived during the game and were led to believe that I was actually the bad guy? Because a lot of shit was taken out of context. I'm just asking how you guys felt because it actually pissed me off still. And I'm not salty. It just kind of made me feel stupid. You know what I mean?
I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but for myself, like I take everything with a grain of salt, but at the same time, it's just like, you never know what can be said. Like everything, like everybody, it is a game and everybody, you know, is willing to lie for the game. But at the same time, like, damn, like anybody can say anything too. Like it's just like either or. Like anybody could say anything or anything. Anybody could have not said anything. So like you kind of have to take it both ways, like one way or another. So I mean, at that point, like, yeah, you were kind of painting as the bad guy, but then also like from my point of view, your actions were kind of like adding up to those things too. Just like the way things were being said and the way you were like talking to other people. I was like, okay, well, I can see it. You know what I mean? Just at that point in the game.
And you think about this, I sincerely wish that Nick would have contacted me prior to the episode before the last one, you know, the Faces one. We should have created a drinking game for those audience members who were watching the show. And every time my name came out of everybody's mouth, we should have had to take a shot. I think about 75% of us would have died from alcohol poisoning. And that was the issue I had as well. I just said, if you're going to X me, just be honest. I'll understand. And like you said, it's a game. I'm all good with you guys' decision. Just be forward with it. And that's what kind of influenced and caused me to channel that character I became. As
Do you think you're not a big presence though, Patty, in these games? Like, don't you think you have a big presence?
Okay, so I heard through the grapevine, actually through you, Nick, that Dot's wife was actually one of my fans, which I don't understand why.
Maybe not anymore after this podcast.
Not anymore.
She didn't like how you treated Anthony. She didn't like that shit.
But, you know, as the story progresses, I hope she like at least considers me in the future. And I'm all G with whatever. But I think what a lot of you guys have learned through watching this show is I just don't call somebody out for a bad reason. It's not like you borrowed my shoes and didn't return it. But when I felt slighted by all these people, and this is why I took the angle I did, because when I sold my soul, I was able to watch every conversation and catch up on the bullshit. And that's what kind of like, Nick's like, you're the vengeful spirit. You have this set of rules. And you know what Nick actually did to me in my character? I'm like, what do I do? He just basically blindfolded me, threw me in the trunk, drove me 50 miles out in the country and said, motherfucker, you're on your own. You figure it out. You got the skill set. You got the behavior. You do what you have to do. And I respect him for that because it actually preserved the integrity of the show. It didn't seem too scripted. It was more raw, more candid. And it allowed me to have that latitude I was given to be that vengeful spirit.
So you were already, like, before the one-on-ones with everybody, you already knew you were going to send Miguel to the afterlife?
No, honest to God, I wasn't going to gun for Miguel. It was the repetitive people planting bugs in my ears over that. And like I said before, I needed more information before I gunned for him. I was, when I did the redemption and confess your sins thing, remember that? I said, you guys confess your sins, tell everybody how you've lied and deceived during the game. What actually happened is the approach when Miguel stood up to me, when we had the little dog fight, I was actually trying to give Miguel bits and pieces of information, but he understood my motives and he thought I was coming off as a badass. I thought it was the shit. This was all gameplay. This is Miguel's character. It's nothing against him now. But the approach he took with his strategy, I'm just like, time to take him out. This is, his inability to kind of like listen to me at the time. And I know my like delivery was shitty. So I understand why he thought he did and the route he took. And I respect him for that because he's the only guy who didn't eat my shit in that game, right? And I knew I had to take him out because he wasn't willing to talk with me. And he was the only one who allowed me to break character. And that's why I X'd him out, took him out of the game.
So who do you want to win the game at this point in your mind during this episode? Because you can't win now. Who do you want to win?
I can't answer that, but I would have liked to see, this is how I was acting too as well. I wanted to see character development. I wanted to see those people fighting for the position because I already knew I was out. Meg even said something, she's not going to win, all that shit. And you just rolled your eyes, sir. And that's awesome. But anyway, I wanted to give those people who were kind of like in the shadows, those ones who weren't assertive, weren't as in the game. Like, I grew towards Jamil and Nick. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm just having memory lapse. It's too much of vodka today. So I wanted to see their characters develop. I wanted to see these people stand up and grow and try to find their purpose in the game. Deani, on the other hand, she kind of upset me. It wasn't because it was her shit, but I would have loved to be able to give her a piss test that day we were talking because she was so motherfucking high. She probably would reset the game and she upset me because of that. And I'm just like, she was so apathetic, just so chill. I was just like, and she didn't want to fight for it. So I knew she wasn't going to win either. So I don't know. You have any more questions? This is all my mode of thinking.
I have a question. In what way is Deani similar to me?
It's not that beautiful mahogany skin, so don't try to tie me up like like that. It was, there was a couple of mannerisms that she kind of displayed. It was like a loose resemblance. It wasn't like it was close. It just kind of reminded me of you and some of the stuff, how she talked, how she kind of like used some of her body language. It wasn't like some tight resemblance. It was more or less the essence that I kind of caught off of her.
Okay. Deani doesn't do any beauty videos though.
Oh my God, I only have 3. Shut up.
Miguel, I do want to touch upon that because I actually felt like it too. I felt like your exit in this round was like a self-fulfilling prophecy because out of everybody that I thought he was going to take to the afterlife, I didn't think it was going to be you. So,
shame it either. Like I said, I feel like there was a chance because we hadn't talked, but I also didn't feel like, well, Patty at the time seemed more mad at other people than me. Like he was like mad at other people, and I was like, all right, cool. Like we may not have talked, but like that's why I was willing to have that conversation and see how it went. So, when when that shit happened, I was like, damn, I could have probably prevented it. I probably could have gave it a little bit and like have it, but I was like, yeah, it was so much information and so much like I was ready to blow. I was just ready to blow up. I was like, nah, it was done. And
When you
especially
guys
with
thought I was,
Beyond.
when you guys
Go
thought I
ahead.
was mad, I had to play the vengeful spirit role, so I just embraced it and just ran with it. I wasn't essentially personally mad, but there's some certain elements that pissed me off, but it wasn't like out of anger. I was just embracing that role and had to run with it. And I'm sorry for any misunderstandings with you, Miguel, but certain
Mhm.
things about you reminded me of you, and we discussed that during the talk. And you know, that was me hating myself. That wasn't anything personal, and you gave me the opportunity, man, because we didn't have that bond. So I just want
Yeah,
you to
and
understand that now, because there was a lot of speculation floating around, and I kind of want to squash that because I'm a prick, but I'm not like that in real life. I've learned to control my demons and learn to manage this shit. And when I was going through all this personal tragedy and stuff, I said, you know what? We're going to let the leash off this motherfucker and let's let it go. And this is how I'm going to heal over the course of this show. And that's why I did what I did. It was nothing on you, man. That was me.
no, yeah, I understand. And it was just funny because it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get me heated. Because even Nick was like, "Where has that Miguel been this whole time?" And
It's
I
like
was
2
like,
seasons.
"Yeah, like dude, like it takes me so much to get there." And it just went like from 0 to 100 like real quick, and I was like, "Nah, like it was done." I blacked out. It was done.
Miguel,
I,
do you feel like game fatigue played a part in you blowing up like that?
I think in a sense, like no offense to Patty, but in that time, I think I was just tired of Patty in the game at that point. Like I was like, he just was doing too much for me personally. Like there were just times where he was in the chat and I was just not having fun. And like at that point of the game, I was like, he's just doing too much. Like I can't even have like a regular conversation. Like it has to be like Patty's narrative. And when we're having a conversation, that's how I felt at that time.
Right.
So whenever it was just me and him, I was like, all right, cool. Like let me say what I have to say. And again, I feel like he was trying to like at that time trying to narrate like my feelings, and I was like, "How are you gonna tell me how I'm feeling?" Like, and that's when I got over it. I think I was over it from like all the past chats we had with him. So I think that's what made me blow up, just because at that point I was tired of it.
and
And
like
I go ahead.
and like I said to you, Miguel, it's like I was actually legitimately asking you guys questions to kind of get some happy stories and stuff. I know you
Mm-hmm.
misunderstood my intentions and thought I was interrogating you. That wasn't me at all. You know, my demeanor, my delivery may have led you to believe that way. But like I said earlier, I was dependent on you guys to carry me through this bullshit that was going on in my personal life so I would be able to finish the show. And those misunderstandings that we had between us kind of played the role. And, you know, I know we had a disagreement with the whole mind fuck thing. I swore I heard you say that. And that's what triggered my ass on you. And, you know, I took that actually personally because I thought I was actually being honest. And when Meg said I was vague, I was like, I've been so motherfucking real. I told you guys from day one what I would do if you gave me that monkey's paw. And I didn't even lie. And you know I delivered his promise, but that was on me to figure that out, not Nick or anyone else. I just had to let the show run and pick on those moments where I can jump in and start wreaking havoc on the whole arc of the game.
For
you know
the
what I
record,
mean?
though, Miguel never did specifically use the word mindfuck. So you must
And
have.
I think and I took it very literal. Like that's the thing with me. I take shit very literal. So you say I said this, I would say,
Yeah.
oh, I said this. I was like, no, I don't. I didn't say that.
He said, I don't
Like,
even
did I
talk
say
like that.
So yeah, I was like, I don't talk like that. Like, what are you talking about? So that's what
just
I
remember.
so
Just remember,
go ahead.
beautiful. That's the strategy I took, and
Yeah.
that influenced how I acted with you. But
Yeah.
if I misheard you, and Nick just set the record straight, I could have swore I heard "mind fuck" come out your mouth.
Mhm.
I can eat my own shit and say I'm wrong, but that's what I thought I heard. I'm
Yeah.
kind of deaf, but you know,
Yeah.
that's what I heard. That's what triggered me, and that's what that was the deciding factor for me to gun for you. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. At the end of it, like, I'm not saying I couldn't have said something similar to it, but I took it so literal. I was like, nah, like you're putting words in my mouth at this point. Like if I would own up to it if I would say what you said, but I didn't. I felt like I didn't say that, and I do have a bad memory, so maybe there was a chance I said it, but I really felt like I didn't say those words. So I was like so strong on defending myself, and I was like, and then we just kept on escalating at that point, but you know we're cool now. Like there's no hard feelings. Like we're
Are
all
you
good,
okay with
you
the
know?
results? We, like you said, it was just a game. I was running with my character, and I know it became abrasive at one point. And Nick sent me an email, say, "Chill the fuck out because you're kind of upsetting people." And that's when I had to, really start thinking about, man, maybe I should sauce it down and be less spicy.
Yeah, no, I mean we're good. Like I said, at that point, I even said it. I said, screw the game. I don't care about the game anymore. Like, take me out this game. Like, you're not gonna talk to me no type of way. Like, take me out this game. So at that point, I was done. I didn't even care. I was like, get me out. Get me out.
That was some real shit. That was some real shit.
Mad props to him. Mad props. He didn't prostitute himself like Anthony or play the game like everybody else. He stood up to Patty, and we're gonna go to the last man standing. And mad respect for that shit, because that's what caused
I have
it,
to wind down. So, do you guys have any final few questions for Miguel or Patty?
I just want to say that Patty, I mean, I think you did a really great job in the game. I mean, like, of course, the entertainment factor of the show has been fantastic. But I mean, you were a power player for a good majority of the show. Like, you were very influential. You were on everyone's good side at the very beginning. Like, you did a really good job, man. You were fun to watch for me. I enjoyed it. Thanks for all the shout outs.
and Dot, you still my man. But like, I gave you and him Alex a shout out, and I wanted something for you and your wife to kind of laugh about and chuckle, and once I really decided to embrace that role, it was just like, now it was time to use my skill sets for my education and my professional experience and use it to influence the game. I just went with the punches. It was all improv. It was all just like character development, and it was all the stuff that I was given at one point, and that's why I ran with it. And it may have pissed a few people off, but damn, I was going balls deep in this shit this time around.
I will say, I feel like out of everybody in the game, though, you played that role like the best. You would have played that role, and you did play that role better than anybody would have. Like, you just took that shit and ran with it. So like that was props, even though I went down the way it did.
And just admit,
you played
that
it,
shit.
yeah.
That shit was motherfucking boring until I got the vengeful spirit and the monkey paw. This was like High School Musical and fucking Mean Girls and shit. And I turned it into a full feature just zombie flick, dude. And it was boring. It was somewhat boring. Can we admit to that? Can we at least all agree that shit was boring until
it was
I turned
boring?
it up?
It was boring, but I was in a good place, man. I was in a good place. I was like, damn.
Yeah, Miguel, you did good. I'm glad I got to see more of you this season. Your social game's strong, man. Just
thank you.
Don't become Rayleigh 2.0 over here, all right?
He's not out of the game yet.
True.
One shot.
I believe, man. We're still rooting for you.
Yeah. Oh, me too, man. Me too. Even though I was an asshole to him and he was 100% correct, I still root for that guy, man. He's good shit, regardless of how it went down.
It was good to see that fire in you, Miguel.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I'm sure y'all did.
Great television. Fantastic.
Any final questions? All right. Well, any final thoughts for Patty or Miguel?
Hit me with some real shit. I need some spice for the rest of my night. So don't be afraid. Just hit me with real talk. I'm good.
You want another?
If you're willing. Yeah, why not? Fuck it, let's go. I didn't even know these podcasts existed, and I'm actually sad that you haven't invited me to more, but I'm good with that. And I know Days has kind of spoke up for my character and stuff and realized some stuff about me. So
I mean, I'm torn on you right now, but I did appreciate you speaking up to Nick. I thought that was a touching moment in that episode where you told him to be more, just fill his shoes out. He wasn't comfortable in his skin, and you can tell that with him. So I'm glad to see you give him some life advice.
And Days, I have a real life saying, and this is honest to God truth. I always tell people when I mentor them and work with them, I always say, there's enough sunshine to go around. I don't need to steal yours. Get your tan, motherfucker.
Well, I don't have any last questions. So unless anybody else has any last questions, I'll have to end it here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is all for the podcast this week. We will be back next week. Thank you, Miguel and Patty, for joining us this week.
Great honor, man. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, guys.